time is here and thank you for tuning in to Cozy Sundays. Enjoy. Evening, my Cozy Sundays. How are you all? Hope you're all well and healthy on these crazy days. So, how was your week? Hope it was okay. I must say, my episodes are getting better. More people are coming, I think. Hopefully, people are sharing with others. But whatever it is, it's happening. And if we keep this up, this is where I can get giveaways and fan mail, and I can even sign mugs and blankets. I can do like a little cozy hamper, but only if I have the right people. So Resident Evil, we'll discuss this and then promotions at the end. So last week I've been working on new material for a story I'm writing, which is going to be epic, by the way. Hope you guys are excited about that. Also, I had a weird question approach me in the supermarket the other day. So I was in the supermarket getting healthy food. So I'm trying to keep the calories down before the mad Christmas food rush comes out. And the guy approached me, who I knew slightly, but only more of a wave. You must know those people. You kind of wave and just pass each other. But he goes to me, he goes, "What options would you take?" I said, okay. So he told me, he said, "Would you take 10 grand cash right now or £100 a month until you reach 30 grand? I mean, first off, what a weird thing to just say. Honestly, it was literally just like that. I was like, okay. But I did say something, but I'm not going to tell you until the end. So think on that. And what would you do? Would you take 10 grand cash then, right now? Or £100 a month until you reach 30 grand? Let me know. I'll tell you mine later. So let's do this. Resident Evil? Resident Evil 1? Here we go. Now this game does remind me a bit of Alone in the Dark. Check that episode out I put on. Obviously a lot better gameplay, graphics, etc. But it is that kind of same room to room camera angles. So let's just jump straight into it. Here's some basics of the game. Resident Evil is a survival horror video game developed and released by Capcom, originally from the PlayStation in 1996, and is the first game in the Resident Evil series. The game's plot follows Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, members of an elite task force known as STARS, as they investigate the outskirts of Raccoon City following the disappearance of their team members. They soon become trapped in a mansion infested with zombies and other monsters. The player, having selected to play Chris or Jill at the start of the game, must explore the mansion to uncover its secrets. Ooh! Just reading that, it gets my body tingling, honestly, with excitement. It brings up memories as this what this is about, and it's just such a good game. Even that, just saying, explore the mansion. You just like, ooh, and obviously it's a zombie game, and you just get so excited. It kind of reminds me of Haunted Mansion at Disney, real spook. And also Capcom, they have a few iOS games already and Android on the phones. So And these guys, they created Dead Rising 1 as well. Not sure about the other Dead Rising. No, there's a few, isn't there? I think 4 or 5. Which is another zombie game, which we will talk about. That kind of reminds me of Dawn of the Dead, Dead Rising, where you're kind of locked in the mall. So that is a pretty good one. So yeah, Capcom, they done games on the mobile, and I always say my old games, bring them out on the mobile. They're so much easier, play them on the iPads. So Capcom, they have the power. So will they do it? Well, let's hope so. So after the first scene, getting chased through the fields by those rabid dogs, zombie dogs, which you never see. So this game is 1996, and you never really see the dogs. It's like I don't know if any of you have seen Pitch Black, the movie with Vin Diesel. When that gravedigger gets pulled in the hole and he's shooting, you have that close up of his like getting bitten, but it's just a blur. That is what it's like with this scene with the dogs. They're running, then the dogs are there with that real close up with the teeth. So it brings that mystery as well. You don't know what really is happening. And then across the field you enter the mansion. Ooh, see, now this is where your gameplay starts. The 3 of you in the mansion, still not knowing what's happening with the world. This scene as well reminds you of 28 Days Later when you go into the mansion, where the horde of affected is running towards the mansion. That's what it reminds me of. So that tickles my fancy as well. So, ooh, it's exciting. As soon as, even the sounds. You can hear the doors creak. Remember guys, 1996, and they done a remake. But this game, I could play this now. So here's a bit of wiki, which, as you know, it's only get the basis of the game, but you know I don't like wiki. I barely use it. It's more memories for me. Not being lazy, I just feel like you shouldn't really just kind of work as, copying. Just bring your own memories out. So here's a bit. Don't judge me, okay? So to fulfill the game's objective, the player uncovers various documents that provide exposition about the game's narrative, as well as clues that help them solve various puzzles within the mansion. Key items are also available that give the player access to other items or new areas. The player can arm their character with weapons to defend themselves from enemies, although the ammunition available for each firearm is limited, and the player must learn to conserve the ammunition they have for situations where they will really need it. To restore the character's health, the player uses first aid sprays or 3 types of healing herbs that can be mixed together in different combinations for different healing effects. The carrying capacity of the player is limited depending on the character, and the items that the player does not wish to carry at the moment can be stored into an item box to be retrieved for later use. To save their progress, the player must pick up an ink ribbon and use it on any of the typewriters scattered through the key locations in the game. However, the supply of ink ribbons the player can acquire is limited, much like the player's ammo and healing supplies. Players will encounter a fight various infected creatures and flesh-eating zombies, undead dogs, giant spiders, and other monsters. Phew, glad that wiki's up. I don't like wiki, I can never say it properly, but hopefully it gives you that kind of vibe to the game. Especially as soon as I was reading it with the typewriters, I remember those typewriters, and you get the ink, and it's kind of unique to save it. These days you can save and auto-save whenever, But with that, as it said, it's only limited throughout the game, so you've got to be careful. So it brings it more to a survival, game. So, and as you can hear, this game for 1996, it brings a lot to the table. With all the guns and ammo, it's good. So when you enter the mansion, you're accompanied with 2 of your stars, the captain and Barry. Oh, Barry. I love old Barry. I always play as Jill, by the way, and never Chris, and she is over the top, honestly. As soon as you get in the mansion, Captain, where's Chris? Ooh, my Chris. Ooh, I need you, Chris. Get over yourself. Grow up. No, seriously though. That's what she's like. Which all the characters are, because 1996, they are very scripted. I mean, you can hear like they're reading it, so. But she is like that throughout. So after your little chat together, you and Barry head to the dining room, trying to find Chris and what clues you can. Now, this is where the game changes. The world, seriously, the world. You are soon to see the first zombie, and I can't stress how popular this zombie is. Honestly, whoever knows Resident Evil knows this zombie, and others have used this in films and sketches on YouTube. Very popular. And we'll get to it. So the first counter of a zombie, I have a clip here, which it bums me that I haven't got my YouTube channel up yet, which it is coming. Just relax. Just get my studio ready, and I'm going to play these games in my YouTube, and you'll see my beautiful face. So for now, I'll just play this clip of the first zombie, and hopefully you can get a feel of it, and hopefully whoever's played it before, you're going to know exactly what it is. Okay, here's the first zombie.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
Now in that scene, as obviously you can't see, Jill walks into the room. You hear the footsteps. She goes around the corner, then it cuts into the zombie eating one of your friends. It isn't Chris, by the way. And this is the epic bit. This is what people know of the zombie. So the zombie's facing the other way. He's back to you. He's chewing on your mate. Then he hears you, so his head comes up. And he turns about 45 degrees. So you can just see the side of his face. And his face is just dropped. He's got no gums around his teeth, no skin around his teeth, real pale. He's got no eyelids, no eyelashes, and it is scary. It is creepy. Proper decayed face. And like I say, for the year, that is awesome. Then it goes back to the gameplay. Now the clip I showed you, you ran straight out of the room back into the dining room with Barry. And he's like, oh Barry, there's a monster. And then he follows you out, that zombie. Barry blows his head off with his shotgun. Now there are different ways of this. I remember I used to, and others have, is as soon as it goes back to gameplay, after you see the zombie, you can just get your pistol out if you have one and start killing him there. Then you can look around the room, and you don't matter with Barry. So So they created this, they created a remake of this bad boy in March 2002, which, we're in 2020, guys, and they usually do remakes about now or a couple of years older. But for 2002, that's 18 years ago, and it was really a remake. So it's just insane. I mean, they're obviously still doing sequels, so they've just kind of moved on to that. And I believe they remaked 2, maybe 3. And I'm pretty sure they are still making them now. But, you know, that is pretty insane. So the levels on these, there are 5 proper chapters. But each of these is broken down into several sub-chapters. The number of which differs from chapter to chapter. We've included the full list below to give you an idea of the game's scale. But it's worth nothing that each chapter, you know, varies in length and difficulty too. Yeah, this game is hard. This is hard. So the length of this game as well, roughly, if you kind of steam into it, it's 25 to 30 hours. So there's a good bit of gameplay there. And there's a good bit to explore. You know, you come in straight into the main hall. And even if there's not much there, you just kind of want to look around. You have that kind of free roaming, which is pretty goody. Goody. So there's 4 endings on this. Each character has 4 endings, with the outcome being determined on whether they rescue the other 2 star survivors or not. So I can't even remember the ending on this game, to be honest. But that's pretty epic, that how many endings of different ones. You can just play this so many times over. So that's fun in itself, right? And I bet many people have. So that's it. Let's talk about my experience on this game. So I used to play this. You're probably going to mime this with me, ready? With my brothers. Like everyone. Oh no, I didn't say this game's the best. Right, if there's any fans out there. Well, hopefully there is. And then just text me and go, you didn't say this game's the best. I always say it at the beginning of all of my episodes. God damn it. I could have just ended it in there, but I didn't. So yeah, I used to play with my brothers. I wasn't the biggest fan back in the day. My older brother, he was, and he still is. I used to like playing this game more just for the beginning levels. Even Resident Evil 2, the beginning levels are insane. But to me, it was kind of the samey, so I never got to the end. The scariest part of what I played is obviously that epic zombie. And the sounds. And when I used to play it in 1986, I was still young, and the sounds of a zombie I've never really heard before. So you hear the munch of the person, which, you know, for a young fella, even that is like, oh my god, cannibalism. And then the sound he has, that'll creep me out to this day. I still get the old heebie-jeebies now. And this game was hard. It's the camera angles. Like Alone in the Dark, where when you go in a room, it's like a set camera. It doesn't move with you. You kind of go forward around a corner, then the camera moves to that bit. It's a set camera. And it makes it very difficult indeed, especially if you have dogs or something fast. And some rooms you have zombies behind you as well. So then you go to the next scene around the corner, then they come round, or where you can't see them. So very difficult. And it has that same Alone in the Dark with their guns. You have to kind of hold and fire, and it kind of slow. I couldn't get my hand, I couldn't get proper into it, to be honest. So the only one I played was Resident Evil 1 and 2. And what I like about 2 is that epic beginning, they proper upped it from 1. So 1, you go in, it's quite casual in the main lobby, and 2, you're outside in the streets and a massive explosion's just happened, and as soon as gameplay here, there's zombies all around you, literally, and you have to run. And each scene, it has the same scene camera, still camera. Each scene comes over, it's zombies, you have to dodge them and then get into the ammo. I think it's an ammo shop. But yeah, they're the only ones I've played. So I wouldn't buy this game unless it's on the phones, and it would have to be cheap on this one. I usually say about £5. I play these games I do on the episodes, but this game, a couple of quid max, and it brings up memories, so it would want me to, and I'll be excited for that. But you know, I can get that on YouTube just to get the memories and the sound on Spotify and that. So yeah, I wouldn't play the gameplay, it wasn't for me. So the films, they done films out. I forgot the actress's name, but she's quite a badass on there. There's plenty of them. Now, again on this one, I only watched Resident Evil 1, and that was pretty epic. The zombies are coming out. I remember there was a scene with a zombie carrying an axe, dragging it along the floor with his ankle bent up. But the reason why I didn't watch the rest, because I know people that has watched it all. They say it's good, but the zombies getting out of hand. Apparently they start talking, like little bits of words, and I'm like, that's kind of not for me. I don't really like when that happens. But it's alright, guys. So the rating I'll give this, out of 10, yeah, do you know what? Don't hurt me, but 6. That's the lowest I've ever gave one. Do you know what? I don't even think I gave Alone in the Dark that. But Alone in the Dark, it's its own game. It's where they didn't want it to make it real good. They didn't remake. No, they did remake it. Sorry. Or they done an extra. I'd have to check that one out. But the game itself on Alone in the Dark is all old arcade. So you get what you get. Cheap game. But this, I don't think it hit that much. So 6. Maybe I'll do episode. Maybe I will play, when I get the YouTube going, this is what I do. I'll play the remake of number 1. And if there's a remake of 2, and then I'll just do 3 and 4 and how many there are. Then I can kind of see then. And maybe my ratings will go up. So that's it, guys, on this one. It's a short one, but I do like these shorties. I've got no shout outs this time. There are people messaging me, but nothing to shout out. And just as usual, I've got my Patreon pages. Go on Instagram. There's links on there. I'm getting a bit popular. Still not much on funding, but and I know it's hard these days, so I appreciate it anyways. But what is the best way to support a podcast, especially mine, is 5-star ratings, an honest review as well on Apple Podcasts. And then you do that, and what it does, it brings me up with the other podcasts, makes me more popular, and people can see me more. Because what the issue is Spotify alone, there's more, about 500,000 podcasts. So you can imagine when I'm like a needle in a haystack. So if you want more of me, I'll keep going each week, twice a week if I can. And I'm generous. I will start doing merchandise. What I really want to do, which I said at the beginning, is a Cozy Sunday hamper. And I'm trying to release them for Christmas. And I'll give them away and put them in shops. But I only can do that with, quite a lot of people, a lot of audience. Otherwise it just can't do it, and you can't podcast alone. And there'll be cool things in there. It'll be all cozy. It'll be even a hot chocolate set. It'll be a blanket. It will be slippers. As much as you give me, I give you. So that's what I'm after. So just keep supporting me. message me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I'm always sending things on there. I'll talk to you on DM. And all the best now. I shall see you for next time. And what is it going to be? We will see. Ciao, ciao for now, brown cow. Bye.